All right, you guys, welcome back to Waypoint Warriors Beyond the Barbell. I am here finally with a portion of our teacher crew. We have a lot. I think really it's kind of cool to see our membership base in that the healthcare field, first responders, and teachers, I'm pretty sure make up like 80% of our membership base. Super cool. So I have a few of them here. We were able to work around all the Zoom meetings that everybody has and the scheduling complex to get you guys here. So I'm excited. Episode 5. If you guys want to go around, we can start with Bonnie. Introduce yourself and tell us what you teach, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I am Bonnie Corbin. I teach first grade in South Kitsap School District.
Allie.
I'm Allie Smith, and I teach special education, kindergarten, and first graders in Central Kitsap.
And I am Jenny Brisbane, and I teach kindergarten in South Kitsap School District.
All the little guys. Oh my gosh. I can just imagine the first Zoom or Google Hangouts kindergartners.
Like the first day of school.
Oh my gosh, all the little faces.
Yeah.
It was a giant show and tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully muted, I'm sure. Like mute all the time.
Once I learned how to do that.
Oh my gosh, I can just see their little faces. So how long, so we are on state mandated shutdown for, I think today was 26 days. But you guys were about the same. Peninsula School District was a little before, I think, weren't they?
They were after.
What day are you guys at?
Our last day was March 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, us too.
Okay, so that's 4 more days. So you guys are at the 30-day mark. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, time flies.
Yeah.
And so tell us, kind of take us through, I've been doing for every one of these episodes because I think it's interesting, is take us through those 30 days and how things drastically changed, I think, and how they're continuing to change moving forward now that we know that there will no longer be school or traditional in-class school for the rest of the year.
When we found out at like 10 a.m. Friday morning that afternoon would be our last time with the kids until April 24th. So that is that day was just a whirlwind of emotions, but trying to keep your emotions to yourself and still go about your day with teaching and all of that stuff that happens in a day, to not try and put that on the kids. But we literally had a few hours to get things together that we wanted to send home with the kids, and then telling them and saying our goodbyes.
Yeah. And then that April 24th date changed what? Did you guys have another change before the no school?
No.
And so you guys quickly, at least that's what it felt like for me from a parent's perspective, it was like, okay, we're not going to have school for a little while. Like, okay, we're going to send home some packets maybe. So we got some packets. There really wasn't anything kind of set in stone. And then it quickly got to, well, let's meet, let's do online classes. And how was that transition? Was it like, so Friday you go, was it Monday you start having meetings to discuss this?
So that Monday, we sent the kids home with packets to continue, and it was supposed to be not new learning, but review, just some review work to keep them busy while we figured out how we were going to implement the online. And that week, our district, at least, we were working on report cards. So I think the teachers were primarily busy writing report cards that week, and kids were working on their packets. And then the next week was our parent-teacher conferences. So we just we went from we weren't going to have them to we did have them on the phone. So we spent that week on the phone doing conferences, and then the next week was our spring break. So this has been our first week actually trying to implement the online learning. It's almost over, first week.
And how has that gone?
It's been okay. I mean, I think we're figuring it out. I think the parents have been great in just accepting that we also don't know really what we're doing, and they don't know what they're doing. So we're all just figuring it out together. And we do get to Zoom in our district, and that's been the kids' favorite thing. And we're not teaching during that time, but it's just been a nice time to build some relationships and just still feel like we're in a classroom. And so that's been fun.
Yeah. And what does it look like for you, Allie?
A lot of the same thing, but on top of that, just as a special educator, like figuring out how all the legal pieces. So it has felt a little bit like in the special education world, we've been kind of lagging behind, but it's not because we're, not wanting to keep up with, what is being asked of our general education students. There's all the legal kind of, there's a legal aspect. So, if a decision is made for general education, there has to be so many steps taken to make sure it's working for our students with special needs. And, on top of that, with my kiddos, I have a couple kids who don't have the ability to talk. So, they have devices to help them communicate. And so individualizing learning for each of them has been kind of complicated. But we are able to Zoom, with our parents. And this is my 17th year teaching, and I have purposely stayed away from technology. I'm just doing like the bare minimum with technology. And so now I'm like, kind of trying to figure that piece out, and it's a lot. But my kids' parents are phenomenal. And, I just told them my main, I just want you guys to take care of your mental and emotional health first and foremost, and then let me know, what I can do to support you the best way. And my kids are like, when I'm able to Zoom, with the kids when a parent is in the room, and when they see me on the computer, they're just like, what? Like trying to make that connection, like that's still my teacher, even though I'm not seeing her in front of me. And then how it's going to work for our paraeducators is a whole different thing, because their main job is to work one-on-one or with small groups with kids. So we're trying to figure out how that's going to work.
Yeah. And how does that process work? Like for all of you guys, what do you have, like teams, or have you been put into teams where guys are kind of brainstorming and working on these things and meeting? Or is it kind of like the powers that be for the school district kind of passing down best practices on a weekly or daily basis? What does that look like from behind the scenes?
I think it's a little bit of everything. That was the hard part. When we initially were told that school was out, we were told we could do no new learning. That's why the packets had come home. And that was from OSPI, from the state, that we had to be equitable for all kids. And so that's where we were starting. And that's been the stressful part, is that it comes from the state down to the school districts, and then the school districts have to decipher what the state wants, but make it equitable across our district. And then working within our school, but as a district, and making sure my school and Bonnie's school, you know, are being given the same things as far as their learning goes, so it's equitable that way. So that's kind of where that stressor, the district is doing their best with what they've been told from the state, and then we work within our grade level teams to plan for our kids. So at least at our grade level within our own school, the kids are getting the same teaching.
Mm-hmm. And just so people understand, and so I understand, a lot of that is because there's people who, or there's kids and there's families who do not have access to computers and tablets and Wi-Fi, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that. Yeah, I remember hearing about that in the very beginning. And I just saw an email last night, at least in our school district, that are opening up hotspots around a lot of our schools, which I thought was kind of cool. So, but you still need a device to be able to access that.
Our district checked out materials. So they did a survey because we're not a one-to-one district. So they reached out to families, and families could go check out a device to have at home.
And we've been able to identify families that just need a printed packet instead. And so we just send in that a week early to our principals, and then they're getting them out to the families who just want to bypass the technology or need to bypass the technology and just have a printed packet. So that's been good. The tricky part's just been identifying that, and some people maybe don't realize that what they're doing on the computer, or it's hard for them. They think they're going to be fine, and it's not. So just trying to work out those kinks has been pretty much what this week has been.
Oh, that's nice. Well, and I think on top of that, we were talking a little bit before we hopped on the recorded interview here, is that there's folks too that they're working all day. And so if they have kids that can't, do all of this on their own, or manage and navigate this on their own, then it's really hard to be working and, I don't know, find somewhere for your kid to go, and then to have to navigate this whole technological learning aspect in the first couple hours of the day, I think is a challenge. So I like that there's just options regardless of whether or not there's access or there's not. I think that, there's a lot of people still working all day, every day, and are able to devote, time to even sit and make sure that their kids are navigating online on their own. Luckily, my kids are old enough that I'm just like I'm forwarding them all the messages and just saying, you've got to access this. I can't keep track of this. This is like, I need a spreadsheet just to track all of what's going on.
That's hard. And we don't do any actual live instruction. So like we either have sent directions on how to do things, or like I've done like a phonics video where I record myself teaching a lesson, and then I just post it on the platform that we're using for our class, and then they can watch it at any time. And I have noticed that some of our families, the kids are doing it later in the evening when, and so that's fine. That's the way we've set it up. So they can do it. It's a small amount of time a day, and they can do it at whatever time works for their family. So that's been a good thing.
That's really great. That's really great. So moving forward, are you guys going to continue to change? I saw that there was kind of a new message, at least again for our school district, that said that there was going to be new learning happening after our spring break, which is this coming week. And so what does that look like for you guys?
This week started our new learning, for our families. And so really we're doing a slow start. So we started with mainly math for this week, just to really get them onto the technology piece, logged into the different accounts. And then next week we'll be adding in our reading program with math, but it's not math 5 days a week. It kind of staggers. So there's a new learning piece one day, and then a review the next day to just help support that so it's not so much on their plate, but giving the kids access to having time to process, ask their teachers questions, and things like that. So the slow start, I think, has been really nice and not so overwhelming to families, but also for the teachers also trying to get things planned and what will work, and recording ourselves to get that out to families as well. So that's been helpful, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, from kind of the special education standpoint, we will be doing, it's called specially designed instruction. So we will be doing that with our kiddos, but it's going to be really individualized, obviously, for each child. So, yeah, we're following along with general education, but kind of, a few days behind.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I know that everybody we've talked to and interviewed, if they haven't said it on camera, after the fact, they've all sent me messages and been like, I forgot to mention how thankful I am for the teachers. So all of and we've mostly been interviewing medical staff right now, but everybody is super appreciative as to you guys working as well and us all navigating this. And I can only imagine how challenging that is, especially when you've got to figure out the technology side of things. And then, like you said in the beginning, Jenny, you've got to keep your feelings and emotions in check to try to be the front and the face in front of a classroom full of kids, even if it's virtually, I imagine is a challenge. And so I think that the kids love it, just like you guys said. I think they do really love being on and seeing other faces beside who's sitting in their living room. I think it's really good. And I don't know, I think we're gonna figure it out, and I think it's gonna be good in the end. What are your guys' last thoughts on that?
I think just, again, like mental and emotional health is first and foremost, and just having grace with people and trying to remember we're all in it together, and the importance of working together as a team. And, I think that's kind of where I'm at.
I would say that, for the parents, that just if you're having a hard time getting this rolled out, just talk to the teacher, because we're not thinking of everything right away. We're changing things as we go too, and we don't really know everybody's circumstances. So I know that if you talk to your child's teacher, they'll figure something out to help you make it easier.
We're truly here just to support the families, not trying to make anything more difficult.
Right.
And when it does get frustrating and overwhelming, I just walk away. It's okay, to get frustrated and to not have it work, or, not having your kids sit down. It's not 7.5 hours of school at home. That is definitely not what we want. It's
Right.
reading together and talking and just getting through this time all together. We're not trying to separate, families from us. We just really want this to be a time that they're spending time together, but also go outside and play, enjoy the sunshine, and just make it through this time. I've just told my families, if there's anything you can do together, just read. That's really the biggest takeaway. Is technology is technology, and it's not going to work half the time. And with the amount of people that are on technology right now, it's more of a struggle. So just reading, talk about the books, go outside and explore, and just enjoy this time and not have it be stressful.
And just remember too that it's not just your child or your school, your district, it's the whole country is in this situation. So no matter whether your kid is, ahead or behind, next year when we go back to school, we'll just meet them where they are, and we'll do like we always do. So it'll be fine.
That's right. We're all in this together, literally. Yep, we're all on the same page. We're all in the same place. I know that's what I've been telling people, even with their workouts. They're like, "How am I going to get back in?" And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Everybody's going to be in the same boat. Everyone's going to roll out of their car when they get here and need assistance with those squats probably in the beginning. So good investment, guys. And hopefully I see everybody's getting their workouts in. So hopefully you guys are staying healthy and fit both physically and mentally as well, taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for those.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, you guys. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you from everybody here. I'm happy that you guys are part of our community and can keep on keeping on. We've got this, and yep, you guys are doing a great job. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.